Welcome to today's explainer. Let's be real, the AI landscape in 2026 is moving so insanely fast, it is genuinely hard to keep up. We are constantly getting bombarded with brand hype, massive new feature drops, and confusing tech jargon. So today, we're cutting right through all that noise. We're going to figure out, once and for all, which AI tool is actually the best for your real, everyday work. And the most crucial thing we have to address right off the bat is exactly that question. Which AI is genuinely the best? Because I think we often just assume that the tool with the biggest name recognition, the most famous AI, is automatically the smartest or the most capable one, right? But as we dig into the actual data today, we're going to see that the real answer is far more surprising than most people expect. Speaking of massive name recognition, just look at the staggering number, 100 million. That represents ChatGPT's historic, completely unprecedented rise to 100 million users in just 2 months back when it first launched. It started a massive revolution. It hit that milestone faster than literally any app in human history, establishing just how crazy the demand for this tech really was. But here's the catch. Since that initial explosion, the landscape has completely shifted underneath us. So here is our roadmap for today. First, the 2026 arms race. Second, meet the contenders. Third, the 5 battlegrounds. Fourth, the blind test. And finally, the verdict. Let's jump right in. Section 1. The 2026 arms race. Just look at how tightly packed these groundbreaking releases are. In early 2026, Google drops Gemini 3.1 Pro. Then, on April 16th, Anthropic launches Claude Opus 4.7. And exactly 1 week later, on April 23rd, OpenAI announces GPT 5.5. These massive, world-changing updates are happening literally days apart. Things that we considered cutting-edge magic back in 2024? Yeah, that's just the baseline standard today, and it's available to pretty much anyone with a free account. Section 2. Meet the contenders. Okay, let's look at the tail of the tape here. We've got 3 heavyweights. First, ChatGPT by OpenAI, the original revolutionary. Then we have Gemini by Google DeepMind, basically the AI that knows everything Google knows. And finally, we have Claude, built by Anthropic, which, fun fact, was actually founded by former OpenAI researchers who specifically wanted to build an AI that's honest, safe, and highly trustworthy. Now notice, they all cost exactly $20 a month for their pro tiers, so the playing field is completely level on price. But look at their context windows. That's how much information or tokens they can hold in their active memory at once, with a token being roughly a piece of a word. When you look at that, you realize their underlying capabilities are wildly diverse. Section 3. The 5 battlegrounds. Let's get into it. Battle 1 is writing quality. This is what most of us use AI for first, right? Emails, reports, cover letters, you name it. And the decisive winner here? It's Claude. When professionals test these tools blindly, they consistently rate Claude's output as the most polished. It just manages to sound natural, nuanced, and remarkably human. It actually avoids those robotic, repetitive sentence structures we've all totally learned to spot by now. Now, ChatGPT is highly competent, absolutely, but experts often describe its writing as heavily structured, a little list-heavy, and honestly a bit formulaic. So Claude takes round 1. Let's move to Battle 2, coding and software development. This one is fiercely contested because programmers really push these models to their absolute limits. And the winner here is, again, Claude, specifically Claude Opus 4.7, which achieved an absolutely incredible 64.3% score on SWE Bench Pro. To put that into perspective, that's a seriously rigorous industry benchmark that tests an AI's ability to solve real, complex software engineering problems from actual GitHub repositories. ChatGPT's GPT 5.5 is a very close second. It's great with its live code interpreter, but Claude's raw high score and its autonomous command line agent, Claude Code, firmly give it the crown here. All right, Battle 3 covers research and real-time information. And here, the dynamic shifts entirely. Gemini completely dominates this battleground. Why? Well, because Gemini is the only AI out of the big 3 with full real-time access to the internet built natively right into its core. It is not a toggle or some clunky add-on. If you ask Gemini about a news event that happened literally this morning, it searches the live web and gives you a current, highly accurate answer. ChatGPT searches more selectively, which can sometimes give you outdated info, and Claude has a strict training data cutoff. So for journalists, students, or anyone who needs today's facts today, Gemini is the undisputed champion. And we're going to stay with Google for Battle 4, multimodal tasks. Multimodal basically just means working with images, audio, and video rather than just text.
And Gemini takes this round handily. Because it was built from the ground up for this stuff, Gemini can literally watch a YouTube video and summarize it for you. It can transcribe long audio files seamlessly, and honestly, most impressively, with the Pro version, you can hold up your phone's camera, show the AI your physical surroundings, and just have a live, real-time conversation about what it's looking at. While ChatGPT does have a remarkably natural voice mode and Dolly for images, and Claude handles high-res images beautifully, Gemini's native video and audio integration is just completely unmatched. Which brings us to Battle 5, memory, context, and long documents. This is all about that context window we mentioned earlier, how much info the AI can hold in its working memory. Think of it like a desk. Gemini boasts a massive, multi-million token desk. You can put a ton of papers on it. However, the winner of this battle is actually Claude. And this is fascinating because it perfectly illustrates a key concept. Pure capacity isn't everything. Claude wins because of deep comprehension. When you feed an AI a massive legal file or a really dense financial report, Claude maintains its coherence and tracks tiny details across hundreds of pages with far superior reasoning. It genuinely understands the full document from beginning to end much more reliably than the competition.
Section 4, the blind test.
Okay, this is where things get really interesting. A study was conducted where 134 people were given tasks to complete using all three systems. But crucially, they had no idea which AI they were actually using. It was completely blind. And guess what? Claude utterly dominated the test. It won 4 out of the 8 rounds, often by massive margins of 35 to 54 points. ChatGPT won just one single round, and the rest were narrow margins or ties. This essentially proves that when you remove brand recognition and prior assumptions, the most famous AI, the one sitting on most people's home screens, did not perform as well as the tool most of the general public has never even heard of.
Section 5, the verdict. So what does this all mean for you? Let's break it down practically. You should definitely use ChatGPT if you're looking for the ultimate jack of all trades. If you want the most versatile, familiar assistant that plugs into a massive ecosystem of third-party apps, this is your tool for sure. It's also the absolute clear choice if your daily workflow heavily involves generating images with DALL-E, or if you just love using those top-tier voice conversation features while you're on the go. On the flip side, you should absolutely choose Gemini if you are already living inside the Google ecosystem. If you spend your whole day in Google Docs, Gmail, and Drive, the native integration is flawless. It's the must-have tool for students or professionals who absolutely require real-time web research and live facts. Plus, it's your best bet if you're constantly analyzing complex video and audio files, or if you just really need the largest possible multi-million token context window to dump huge amounts of raw data into. And finally, you should be using Claude if you demand deep thought and extreme accuracy over simple speed. Claude is really the premium powerhouse for writers and editors who need nuanced, human-quality text. It is the top choice for software engineers who are writing and debugging real code. And if you're a lawyer, an analyst, or a researcher going through dense contracts and financial reports, Claude's high reliability and lower chance of hallucinating, making things up, makes it the most trustworthy partner on the market right now. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this incredible perspective. Because the real story in 2026 isn't just about which megacorporation is winning some product rivalry. The real story is that you now possess world-changing capabilities. As this quote perfectly captures, the tools you can access right now for just $20 a month, or even totally for free, are more powerful than anything that existed in the world's most advanced research labs just 3 years ago. Think about that. You literally have unprecedented power right at your fingertips. So the only question left for you is, which one are you going to master first?